Okay, so today we will learn about how to do a Suryanamskar, but in the right way, because there are a lot of people doing Suryanamskar, doing 108 Suryanamskars and just sweating, but the postures are not right, and not being in the right posture can cause different problems in the body. Like if you put too much of pressure on lower back, then your lower back will start paining after a certain point. If you put too much pressure on your joints, like wrists and knees, then they will get damaged eventually. So instead of putting our pressure or weight on the joints, we are going to try transferring them in our muscles and strengthening our muscles. So in the beginning, when we are standing in Sthit Pratnasana, which is hands joined together near heart and feet together, or maybe a little bit of distance is fine. Hands in Namaste. Now when you are here, just close your eyes and observe the weight of your body. Is it in your toes? Is it in your heels? Or is it equally distributed? Take this time to just play around with your weight on your feet to get familiar with the awareness of weight on your feet. Now slowly put your weight on all sides of your feet and equally distribute it. Secondly, take your awareness to your lower back and your core and see if your core is engaged or not. If you have loosened up this part of your body, then the weight will transfer to the lower back. If you engage your core, the core will be engaged and back will be safe. So this one movement is called pelvic tilt, and it's very important for everyday life as well. Whenever you are walking or standing in a line, make sure that your lower back is not out like that, but your core is engaged. So the lower core engaged. Then shoulder blades tucked into chest. Now I'm not pushing the chest outside purposely, but I'm just these two shoulder blades that we have, I'm going to push them in the chest. And I'm going to roll the shoulders back and relax my shoulders. A lot of times we might have tight shoulders, so it's really hard to completely have this movement. Okay, some people might have it like that. So try to open your chest, open your lungs as it's possible, so there is space created in your abdomen and your organs have good space to exist, so you can breathe full and deep. Okay? So remember 1 and 2. If you just do 1 without doing the 2, then you will look something like that. So this creating more space, your spine is more straighter. A lot of times when I say stand straight, I have said this in my posture correction video as well. So when I say stand straight, this is not straight, this is straight. Hands in Namaste, and when we are holding the hands in Namaste, keep your elbows parallel to the floor, hands pressing against each other actively from all fingers, from the mount of the palm as well, not just the wrists. And when you do this, you will realize your muscles get engaged, like your biceps and your forearm. So even standing in this one posture for like an hour with all these steps in your head, constantly focusing on your breath and having that awareness of your posture, engaging different parts of your body. Now this I'm just giving I'm not telling you to engage all parts of the body because we are just beginners right now. Okay, eventually when you're able to be aware of all parts of body together, we'll move ahead and engage other parts of the body as well. But for now, the weight of the body, the pelvic tilt, shoulder blades, and shoulders, lower back and the neck, and hands. Okay? So parallel to floor and close your eyes. Now breathe in this posture for some time. Deep, full breaths. When you inhale, see if your belly is expanding. And when you exhale, it contracts. Again. So, as you inhale, belly expands, using the fullest capacity of your lungs, expanding the diaphragm. And exhaling. Exhale as slow as possible and elongate the exhale. Try not to make any sound of your breath, so it's as gentle as possible. So when you inhale, now you take hands above the head. Inhale, lift up your arms above the head. And when we are in this posture, your shoulders should not avoid tightening your shoulders like that. Inhaling. This is what you have to avoid, and relax the shoulders. And try to keep the elbows as straight as possible. So, not this. Relax the shoulders, straighten the elbows, and keep the pelvic tilt. And keep the core engaged. So, we're here. And now, it is possible that in the beginning, your elbows, it will be hard to straighten your elbows. That's fine. It will happen eventually. Now, we're going to give back bend. Now, keep in mind, it is an upper back bend, not a lower back bend. So don't push your belly forward, just bend from your upper back, from this part. And take your hands, keep your hands parallel to your ears. Okay? Okay. That's back bend. It's it's possible that this might be more hard if your back is hunched. Then you can just engage your back and you can feel like you're bending behind, but physically it might not be visible. Okay, that is again fine because because of our lifestyle, our backs are crunched, our backs are not open, and yeah. So it can happen, but right direction is always the right way to go. And just if you think about getting into the posture, then you're going to damage your body. Okay, so it's about the process, it's about the purpose of the asana, and not about the end posture. So the wrong thing, I'll show you what a lot of people do, is this. They'll get their bellies out, push the hips forward, and then they'll bend like that, and it is going to put a lot of pressure in the back. So always remember to have that pelvic tilt, and you bend from the upper back. Alright? So when I keep my hands above my head, it's a little harder for me to go as much behind as I can without my hands in the air, because like this, my whole abdomen is getting engaged, and so I start to shiver, and that's it. Okay, from here, now keep the back straight. When I say forward fold, you're not supposed to hunch from the upper back. You're supposed to go down from the lower back. Observe how I'm keeping my hand parallel to my ear and shoulder is relaxed. So I'm going down. See how my back is not hunched. My shoulder blades are still tucked. And then, as much possible, and whenever I start feeling that my hamstrings are getting stretched, I'm going to take that posture that I can breathe and I can also feel the stretch a little bit. I'm not going overboard, I'm not stretching it too far that I'll damage my body, because we have to create a safe connection with our body for it to open up beautifully and with love. So that's the whole thing. Okay? It's not just about the posture, it's about the emotion, the body, the connection, and all of it. So when we're going down, inhale. And when you inhale, now observe my back. I don't know if you'll be able to, if that's visible, but I can feel it. So when I'm inhaling, I'm trying to stretch my back towards this side. So something like that. And then exhaling, I'm going to slowly go down as much as possible. If I keep my hands parallel to yours, this is how much I'm able to go. And then I'm going to take my hands down. It's very much possible if you're a beginner and your hamstrings are still closed. Then you will start feeling the stretch in hamstrings even here, or here. And when you're here, you will also feel that your core is getting engaged if you keep your hands parallel like this, right? Which is a good thing. Alright. Now, either to keep your core engaged and your hamstrings, like all of it together, you want that stretch and strengthening together, then we can hold in this posture for like 10 to 15 counts and then again come back, hold it as you want. But if you are a beginner and just want one thing at a time, then just take your hands down and feel the stretch in hamstrings. Now from here, you'll bend your knees. Bend the knees because hamstrings are not yet open, okay? So bend the knees, upper body on the thighs, hands on the floor, and then take your left leg behind. Okay, now when I'm taking my left leg behind, I'm taking it behind as much possible while I keep my knee above my ankle. So this is something what we don't want to do, because when we do this, the pressure will transfer to the knee, the joint which we don't want. So we are going to keep it in line with the ankle and it will transfer to the thighs. Hands will be framing the right foot and the leg behind. There are two options. One is you keep your left leg down and ankle will be on the floor. So in this, if you just stay here and observe, you'll feel good stretch here. Second, your knee might be having the weight of the body pressure, alright? Now if you try to push your left ankle, this ankle in the floor, then you will see that weight of the body gets transferred in your thighs and calf muscles. So the weight from the joint, from the knee, goes away, which is what we want, and transfers to the muscles. Alright? So always press down the ankle and transfer the weight to the ankles, to the calf muscles and the thighs. And yep, so stay here. If you want more beginner level of this asana, then we'll do that in the next video. But this one is actually for the ones who are already in my online class, and this is just to guide them. So, yeah. Alright. Now from here, if you are feeling that you can go beyond this stretch is like, you can be easily in this stretch and you want a deeper stretch, then tuck your toe and Keep your hip wherever it is, alright? Basically, you're pushing the hip down and lift up your left knee from the floor. So, this is a deeper stretch. Uh-oh. From here, then I'll go take my right leg behind, and from plank, I am going to shift a little bit of weight forward, and then basically I'm going to bend my elbows behind and not outside. So when you are in this posture, make sure that your hands are firmly in the floor, right? The weight is on all fingers and the mount of the palm as well, and not just the wrist, or it will start paining. So whenever you are in plank, make sure if you are someone whose wrists start paining when you are doing plank or any kind of posture that needs the strength in the hands, and you end up feeling pain in your wrist, is just because you are putting the weight in your wrist and not completely using your arm, your palm for it. So it should be something like that. And this needs body memory. So at the beginning, you just stay in the tabletop position and keep pressing your palms in the mat. Your fingers, the mount of the palm, right, and thumbs as well. So yeah, just creating that awareness and body memory. And then we'll be good. From here, we're going to shift a little bit forward and then bend the elbows down and then down. Now, if you don't have enough strength in your arms, then what you can do is from the plank, take the knees down, okay? Keep the tailbone tilt. Again, the same thing, tailbone tilt, and then just between the arms, and that will be easier, I hope. From here, it's going to lift up. So in this posture, it actually means chest and chin. This is a Suryanamskar. From here, completely your abdomen down on the mat. Both the legs together, toes together, knees together, ankles pressing into the mat. And when you're going to come up, you're not going to use the strength of our hands. We're going to clasp our hands behind and we are going to roll our shoulders back and inhaling, come up with the strength of the core. So, inhaling and make sure your toes and heels are joined together and they're pressing down on the mat. So it should not be like that, but this is what we want. So inhale, roll your shoulders back, come up as is possible and hold your foot back. Keep breathing. Hands besides your chest, up to the toes. Lift up the knees and lift yourself up. Go back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now, corrections for Adho Mukha Svanasana are, again, the palms should be completely engaged and the weight should not be just in the wrist, okay? Keep that in mind. And then lift up the hip towards the ceiling. Now here we are going to try extending our backs and don't try to touch your heels in the beginning. Don't try to touch your heels on the mat. Okay, keep them above. You can bend your knees and okay, just Okay. And lift up your hip towards the ceiling. So we are trying to push the chest inside. And when you're pushing the chest inside, don't lock your neck by doing this. It will pain. So to avoid that, keep your shoulders like shoulder blades up. Like you understand and keep them this way. And then you push your chest inside so there is space for your neck to exist and hip towards the ceiling. Just pressing inside towards the mat and when wow my ear so when you're pressing just inside, you're not supposed to take your head inside. Okay? So it's not this. It is your gaze will be down on the mat and you will be trying to your direction will be trying to touch the forehead to the mat. Okay? So something like that. Keep pressing your palms on the mat, lifting up the hip and we're stretching the spine, elongating the spine as much as possible. And once you're comfortable here, if your hamstrings are open enough, you can keep the heels on the mat and stay here. Now we'll repeat the same thing but with the opposite leg. So take your left leg forward. This is called Ashtasanchalanasana in Sanskrit. And I don't know the English word. But Ashwa means a horse. So yeah. And then we're going to, you have the same instructions again. I'm not going to repeat that. But basically, engage your core, don't put the whole pressure in your lower back. Alright? And then you take your right leg forward. Don't be in a hurry, just get up. Be here, stay here, upper back, upper body on the thighs, alright? And you might be feeling the stretch already. Don't hunch and not this, but rather extend your spine and keep the body on the thighs. And in this way, if you are able to look forward, that's amazing. And then slowly try to straighten the knees without moving the upper body, and it will slowly happen when your hamstrings are open. Inhaling, come up. You saw how I straightened my hands first, so my back was straight, and then this helped me engaging my core, so my lower back does not again have any pressure. So hands above the head. You can give a back bend if you want, if you feel like, or you can just flip the hands, give a back rotation if you feel like, and come back to the namaste. And that was your Suryanamskar, for the beginners. And what else do I have to say? Not right now, nothing more than this. I think this is more than enough for you to keep in mind, and a lot of times people start sweating because there are so many things to concentrate on, but this builds up amazing body breath awareness and connection. And don't try to get into the end posture, okay? Because end posture, don't think that end posture is the goal, but think that purpose of that posture is the goal. So if the purpose of the posture is to open up the hamstrings, if the purpose of the posture is to elongate your spine, then if that is happening in your body, you're in the right posture. Okay? So yeah, that's all I think. And if you have any questions, text me. I'll be happy to help. So see you. Bye. Stay safe, stay sane, drink a lot of water, and love yourself.